Coming up on Mountaineer Playbook, I'm Brian McQuillan, and I'll tell you about a club team that is getting ready to knock their expectations out of the ballpark.
Coming up on Mountaineer Playbook, I'm James Daly, and I'll tell you about how a new state-of-the-art baseball facility will have an impact on WVU.
I'm Terrell Thompson, and I'll tell you about a Mountaineer legend whose fielding experience may help the Mountaineers in his new role this season. Mountaineer Playbook starts now.
A once defunct varsity sport at WVU is paving its way back to the club championship this year as they work to prove they deserve that D1 investment once again. I'm Jackie Gunther.
And I'm Patrick Walsh. A generous donation to the WVU baseball team from a famed alum gives the Mountaineers a chance to improve their performance this upcoming season.
These stories and more coming up on Mountaineer Playbook, an Emmy-nominated sports magazine show produced by sports and adventure media students right here at West Virginia University.
Following 12 years at the helm of WVU baseball, head coach Randy Mazey retired in June and passed the baton to longtime assistant Steve Sabins.
Sabins has made his own changes to the team's coaching staff, bringing in a former famed Mountaineer who hopes his experiences in the majors will help guide his alma mater to another successful season.
WVU took their first trip to the NCAA Super Regionals this summer and now are looking for all the mentorship they can get as they travel the road to Omaha for the College World Series.
Terrell Thompson joins us live in the studio for his segment, Coach's Corner, to tell us about the latest addition to the Mountaineers coaching staff. Terrell?
Thanks, Jackie, Patrick. Jed Jerko is one of the most accomplished baseball players to have ever taken a diamond in Morgantown. The WVU Sports Hall of Famer has the highest batting average and career extra base hits in university history. The stadium even sits on Jerko Drive, bearing his name. But after 8 years in the MLB, Jerko is back in his hometown, hoping to make a positive impact on the Mountaineers. Jed Jerko played for the Mountaineers from 2008 to 2010. He won 10 All-American honors, and now country roads have brought him home.
I'm glad to be back here, glad to be with the guys, sit in the coach's office, get to talk to them, and just be back around the team and a place that I love to be around.
Jerko is a special assistant to head coach Steve Sabins this season. Jerko found major success in his time as a player for WVU and in the majors as a shortstop. But this season, he's taking a seat here, right in the dugout, and bringing his MLB experience to Morgantown. Jerko became the 68th Mountaineer in history to be selected in the MLB draft. He was signed by the Padres and later played for the Cardinals. Players say that professional experience is already benefiting this team as scrimmages started this fall.
He has higher expectations, obviously, because he was around all the best players in the game, so I think practice is elevated a little bit.
Jerko is not just a former WVU player. He is also a Morgantown native, and that played a part in his decision to coach for the Mountaineers.
This university means a lot to me, and any way that I can give back to these players and make them better, would be fun.
The 2024 season ended with a berth in the Super Regional, but expectations are high with new players on the field this season. The latest D1 baseball poll ranks the Mountaineers as the 38th best college baseball program in the country. The ranking out of 100 measures the rise of those teams over the past decade.
Thanks, Terrell. College softball programs across the country have increased by more than 30% in the last decade. And that's not the only stat on the rise.
That's right, Patrick. In the past 4 seasons, the Women's College World Series has reached at least 1 million viewers, surpassing viewership of the Men's College World Series. But WVU won't be competing on that diamond anytime soon. The university does not have a D1 softball program.
The women who field the school's club team are trying their hardest to change the minds of WVU athletic leadership, though. Brian McQuillan has the story.
Last season, WVU's club softball team punched its ticket to the Club Softball World Series for the first time in program history.
We would love to make it to the regional tournament again because that was a really cool experience for us.
WVU was a varsity softball team from 1976 to 1982, and in that time had an overall record of 101-58. But after just 5 years, the program was cut to fund other sports. Current president Elena Krause said their club status creates some challenges.
Difficult getting accessibility to certain things, like even our field space for our series. Like this past weekend, we had trouble getting a field for our games.
WVU is one of 5 Big 12 schools that do not currently field a Division I program. That list includes Cincinnati, Colorado, Kansas State, and TCU. In order for the club team to become an official varsity sport here at West Virginia, they would have to improve facilities like this one. However, that could cost the department an 8-figure deal. WVU Athletic Director Ren Baker told Tony Caridi on the podcast 3 Guys Before the Game the university cannot afford to create a new D1 program right now. Pitcher Riley Morgan says making it an official Division I program could benefit the entire university.
I think that it would be such a good thing for the school because it would open a lot more people. I know there's girls that only pick schools because they want to play softball.
Morgan says the team's goal is to get back to the Club World Series this year. For Mountaineer Playbook, I'm Brian McQuillan.
WVU baseball and the Arizona Diamondbacks share a special connection. Even though they are separated by almost 2,100 miles, one name links them together.
Ken Kendrick is a WVU alum who has owned the Diamondbacks since 1995. And now Kendrick is using his fortune to help fund the next generation of baseball players right here in his home state.
Our sports culture and economics reporter, James Daly, joins us live in the studio to tell us about the gift that's making the Kendrick family ballpark a reality. James?
Thanks, Patrick. Jackie, the Mon County Ballpark opened in 2015, almost after 2 years of construction. Since then, it's been the home of the WVU Mountaineers and the West Virginia Black Bears, a collegiate summer baseball team in the MLB Draft League. The stadium has undergone some changes in the past few years, but now they're adding its biggest addition yet, thanks to the help of Ken Kendrick.
WVU baseball program received a generous gift from WVU alum and Arizona Diamondbacks owner Ken Kendrick. The program is now using those funds to make necessary upgrades. The biggest addition will be a state-of-the-art indoor hitting and pitching facility.
To have a pitching and hitting lab at this level is going to take this program even higher than it is currently. It's going to be state-of-the-art.
The addition to the ballpark will include an 8,200 square foot structure next to the current clubhouse. The addition includes 2 full-size pitching lanes, a soft toss area, and 2 full-size batting lanes. Completion for the facility is expected in February 2025.
WVU will now be one of a handful of Big 12 baseball programs to have an indoor facility. After his first season with the Mountaineers, infielder Kyle West knows just how important an indoor option is to the team's development.
Because if the weather's crappy, we have to go over to the IPF, the indoor practice facility for the football team. So I think turning that into a baseball field is pretty inefficient.
West Virginia hopes that this practice facility will also have an impact on recruiting. Bringing in higher-level recruits will help the Mountaineers stay competitive in one of college baseball's premier conferences.
The 8,200 square foot state-of-the-art facility will be built with TrackMan technology. The tool tracks pitching and hitting in real time and provides data to help improve player performance.
Thanks, James. According to the NCAA, during the 2021-2022 school year, there were more than 100,000 international students playing college sports in the United States. Here at WVU, those international players are having a significant impact on the success of the men's soccer team. 13 of the 30 players on the men's roster are international students, and after 10 games this season, they've scored 17 of WVU's 21 goals. Finland's Otto Alakainen has been an integral piece to the team's success so far this season. The senior midfielder ranks in the top 5 of minutes played for WVU and was one of Coach Dan Strafford's first recruits at the university. Alakainen says coming to Morgantown was an easy choice.
As an international, you don't really know, like all the schools, they look exactly the same in the presentations and stuff. And then after talking to both the coaches, I think it was pretty obvious that I was coming here.
In last year's MLS Super Draft, 3 of WVU's top players were all selected. All of them hail from outside of the U.S.
A jump off a 30-foot diving platform isn't for everybody. But for Abigail Sullivan, it's not just a plunge she's willing to take, it's one she's excelling at. Sullivan punched her ticket to the NCAA championship last year. This season, she's looking to elevate her performance even further and take the trip back to the finals.
As a sophomore last season, Abigail Sullivan became the first female diver from WVU to reach the NCAA championship since 1984. She was also the first in program history to qualify in the platform event.
I wasn't expecting to be here. We didn't really have a coach for the last 2 months of our season, so I was just kind of taking it all in. I was like, wow, this is a cool meet. I wasn't expecting to be here.
Between her freshman and sophomore years, Sullivan jumped 38 spots in the NCAA qualifying competition. And Sullivan says that's thanks to the hard work she puts in almost every day at the pool.
Now Abigail's warm-up consists of 3 sections. First, she starts with some normal stretching plus some dynamic warm-ups. Then she moves on to the 5-meter tall platform before moving on to the 10-meter tall platform, the same one that is used in competition.
Mark Butcher took over the diving program in July and brings 12 years of head coaching experience from San Jose State. During that time, he coached the first conference medalist and Olympic trials qualifier in San Jose program history.
I think after last year kind of gave her the idea that she could be up there with the best divers in the country.
Butcher believes that his coaching experience, combined with Sullivan's work ethic, will push her to new heights this season.
The swimming and diving season opens in mid-October, while the team's first conference meet will be at the beginning of November. They'll face the Cincinnati Bearcats at home in Morgantown.
After the break on Mountaineer Playbook, being involved in a sport is more than just showing up for the match. We'll meet the staff who help keep athletes in peak performance shape.
That story and more after the break. Stick with us.
After the break on Mountaineer Playbook, I'm Avery Catalano, and I'll tell you how 14 girls who have never rowed before are now Division I rowers for West Virginia University.
I'm Jackie Gunther, and after the break, I'll show you how the WVU gymnastics team nutritionist helps them stay healthy in the off-season and during competition season.
It has been said the sun might not always shine on West Virginia, but the people always do. And to truly appreciate our beauty, you have to look deeper at our passion, our purpose, at the fabric of who we are.
Because it's always a great day to be a Mountaineer. Wherever you may be. Let's go!
Welcome back to Mountaineer Playbook. Rowing is the oldest intercollegiate sport in the United States. In 1875, the first women's program was created at Wellesley College in Massachusetts.
Women's collegiate rowing consists of more than 150 programs across all divisions, Jackie. Reporter Avery Catalano joins us live in the studio to tell us more about the rowing team here at WVU. Avery?
Thanks, Patrick. Jackie. The women's rowing team is marking their 24th season, racing up and down the Mon River as an official Division I sport at WVU. But not every member of this team has years of experience behind them, though. I met up with the novice squad to find out just what it takes to hold water on a D1 crew.
The Mountaineers novice team is made up of 14 women, all of whom are brand new to the sport of rowing. Ariana Hannon is one of those first-time rowers. She came to rowing from cheerleading.
I did a lot of athletics in high school, and I came into my freshman year and took a break from it, and I felt like something was just missing, and I wanted to get involved in something on campus, so I just looked around and I found it, and I tried doing the learn to erg classes, and I just loved it.
Beginning as novice allows new rowers to learn the basics without immediately competing against more seasoned athletes. but their scores do count. So novice rowers have 2 months to learn a new sport.
WVU's new 14-member novice squad has the chance to prove that in rowing, dedication can outshine experience, just like the team's 13 varsity members did before them.
Coaches say it's not just learning to be a team, but learning to compete as one.
Doesn't really matter your background completely because we'll train you, for rowing. So we have the program set up and all that to develop you in the way that we need to, but we just want to have someone who's athletic and wants to work.
With hard work and teamwork, the novice squad make their debut at the Bucknell Invitational on November 10th.
Before 2000, the women competed as a club sport with minimal funding. Now they are a full-fledged D1 program armed with scholarships and the equipment to help the next generation of rowers flourish.
Thanks, Avery. We all know how important it is to stay properly fueled, especially, Patrick, if you're competing at a collegiate level.
Nutrition is not only crucial for performance, Jackie, but it has actually been shown to play a significant factor in how fast athletes recover from injuries.
All of the teams at WVU have a nutritionist who works with athletes during the school year to keep them healthy. I caught up with a man who keeps the Mountaineer gymnastics team fueled and ready to hit the mat.
James Burns has been a part of the Mountaineer staff since May of 2023. His position requires him to counsel WVU Olympic student athletes on daily nutrition for performance and health.
Making sure that they're getting enough carbohydrates, adequate protein to recover, fruits and veggies for those antioxidant, anti-inflammatory properties.
Every gymnast needs different amounts of nutrients to help fuel their bodies properly.
A gymnast's nutritional requirements change during the competition season, in-season training, and the off-season.
Burns makes sure to take the time year-round to help athletes maintain a healthy lifestyle.
Being a resource to kind of help the athletes fuel appropriately, safely, and responsibly, and appropriate for sport is just another thing to take off their plate.
Although Burns has been a part of the Mountaineer family for a short amount of time, he has made a big impact on the gymnasts' lives.
It's kind of hard. The whole world is watching you and criticizing you, but he definitely puts a positive spin on it and provides us with a safe environment to talk about these hard subjects and just look at ourselves and be like, I'm strong, I'm confident, I like how I look, and my body lets me do awesome things.
Burns continues to teach the importance of confidence to his student athletes.
Visit the link at the bottom of your screen for more information about how you can get involved in WVU Nutrition.
Proper nutrition is vital for athletes, but what about the conditioning and training they do outside of practice, Jackie?
That training can improve athletic performance, increase flexibility, and even prevent injuries.
Health reporter Emma Brenner introduces us to some of the coaches providing crucial support to WVU athletes in the weight room.
Tanner Kolb is the strength and conditioning coach for the WVU wrestling team. It's a job he's held since 2012, and he says is a give and take.
Allow them to teach you something about their sport, something that they're knowledgeable in, and then it's reciprocated when you can teach them something that you're knowledgeable in.
Kolb is one of 12 strength and conditioning coaches that work with WVU athletes. Their job is to improve performance in their primary sports.
In team sports, working with a strength and conditioning coach can foster better team cohesion and performance. Group training environments encourage accountability and competition.
Men's Health reports athletes can improve their overall athleticism by 15% when following a specific training routine with a coach like Kolb.
It's up to us to really build the most robust athletes possible, whether that's increasing speed, helping with overall general fitness and strength, or anything in there that each and every athlete kind of needs.
Both athletes and strength and conditioning coaches have the same goal in mind, to be better every day.
But having that connection with them is probably the square one for enabling me to both motivate them and criticize them.
For Mountaineer Playbook, I'm Emma Brenner.
Coming up on Mountaineer Playbook, a classic twist on a popular board game makes waves at the Student Rec Center.
And a student-athlete organization is using religion as a way to work through the stressors of competition.
We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
After the break, there's a student org on campus that helps motivate athletes through religion. I'm Harley Cochran, and I'll tell you about WVU FCA.
It has been said the sun might not always shine on West Virginia, but the people always do. And to truly appreciate our beauty, you have to look deeper at our passion, our purpose, at the fabric of who we are.
Because it's always a great day to be a Mountaineer. Wherever you may be. Let's go!
Quiet and ready in control room. 3, 2, 1. Fade in bumper.
WVU News is local, in-depth, and always on the move for you. And it's always on YouTube, on the web, and on the Reed College of Media website. A national first place Emmy Award-winning college newscast, taped at the Waterfront Studio at West Virginia University. Stay in the know, stay connected, watch WVU News.
Mountaineers know. Let's go! Really means let's try. Let's create. Let's explore. And let's do it all together.
Welcome back to Mountaineer Playbook. In a Gallup survey of 2,400 college students, nearly 2/3 reported experiencing high levels of stress.
Between exams, internships, job applications, it's no wonder students surveyed listed emotional stress among the top reasons they considered dropping out of college.
Add competing in a D1 athletic program on top of the regular demands of a college schedule, and the stress just climbs. But Rifle reporter Harley Cochran found a program on WVU's campus that's helping student athletes cope by building a community with a focus on faith.
All for him.
None for us.
Natalie Perrin is a senior on the WVU Rifle team and student leader for Fellowship of Christian Athletes. She joined FCA in her freshman year when a friend invited her to a meeting.
I didn't really know Christ, so I started coming just kind of to meet people, make new friends, and in turn, ended up growing my faith, starting to have faith in Jesus.
Perrin says her experience at FCA ultimately translated to her performance on the range as well.
It lifts a weight off of my shoulders. I can go out there and shoot an absolutely horrible match, and I know that I can come to FCA on Monday night and still be loved and accepted and wanted, and also know that Jesus is the same way with me too.
Research shows Perrin isn't alone in her experience.
In an article published in the Journal of Psychology of Sport and Exercise, research shows that religion can have positive impacts on athletes, including alleviating stress in uncertain situations in sport, building confidence, and maintaining a player's well-being.
The study also found the inclusion of religious mentors to help students with their mental game greatly benefited athletes.
I feel like athletes have people to help with nutrition, people to help with academics, but we really just provide a spiritual outlet for those who are interested in that.
Perrin says she's become a better athlete, but also found her identity outside of sport.
It's like coming to an end soon of my time in my sport, but Christ is always going to be there. He's always going to be with me at every part of my life, in every season that I go through, even when I'm not in season as an athlete anymore.
Perrin's looking forward to the future, working in media, and plans to marry her partner next year. For Mountaineer Playbook, I'm Harley Cochran.
Visit the link at the bottom of your screen to find out more about the Fellowship of Christian Athletes and to find a chapter near you.
Jackie, competition doesn't only happen on the field or the court. For some of us, it happens in our living rooms, maybe with a traditional board game.
One of those games took a jump off the board and into the WVU Rec Center pool, Patrick, as a group of students put a twist on the 90s classic Battleship.
Adventure reporter Andrew Freed chartered a course to the rec center to take part in the activity himself. He joins us now from Studio B at the Media Innovation Center with his segment, Finding Adventure. Andrew, how do you match up to the competition?
Patrick, Jackie, Battleship was once played with pencil and paper before being adapted in the early 60s to the more modern plastic version we know today. The WVU Rec Center, however, is once again adapting the game, this time straight onto the water. I grabbed my swim trunks and hopped in a canoe to experience a new version of this old school game, in the hopes that nobody would sink my battleship. It's the classic board game of Battleship, but with a twist. Students from across WVU came together to compete in the live-action version in canoes at the Rec Center pool.
It's just one of those things that's just different and fun and something that just gives, like, it's exciting versus competitive. So it's both things all together.
In Battleship, the board game, you want to have the most ships afloat at the end of the game. Canoe Battleship has the same goal. The rules are simple. You got to sink your opponents using these water buckets, all while staying afloat yourself. And don't forget, got to have good sportsmanship. Teams receive points for good sportsmanship, like cheering on their fellow competitors. You cannot remove any of the water from your boat as play progresses. And while this may be a contest, participants say it's also a positive experience for the students who play.
It's good team building, because when you're in that canoe with your team, you're trying to talk to them, build them up, tell them what to do, make sure they're all going on the same page.
5 teams competed in the 2024 Canoe Battleship Tournament, and Panazzi says he'll be back again next year. For Mountaineer Playbook, I'm Andrew Freed. I played around one of the participating teams, and Patrick, Jackie, I'm sure you'll not be surprised to find out that we won our match. All that hard work from the players earned one lucky team a WVU intramural t-shirt, and of course, bragging rights. Back to you at the Waterfront Studio.
That sounds like an absolute blast, but Patrick, I gotta say, I think I have you beat in a game of Battleship.
You know, I have to agree with you because I can't swim.
Okay, well, that's going to do it for this week's edition of Mountaineer Playbook, an Emmy-nominated sports magazine show where we dive into inspiring stories of coaches, players, and passionate fans who make the sports world truly remarkable. I'm Jackie Gunther.
And I'm Patrick Walsh. Be sure to like and follow us on Facebook at Mountaineer Playbook. You can also stream our shows on HD Media's websites and watch our broadcasts on Sunday evenings at 6:30 on West Virginia Public Broadcasting.
Thank you for watching, and don't miss the chance to celebrate the heart and soul of the game with us next time on Mountaineer Playbook.